Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Rose Tarot and Astrology. I am your host, Mel Rose, and today is Monday, December 23, 2024. The chart that you see before you is today's chart with really only the highlighted active planets that I want to talk about on there. So you're not going to see all of the planets on this chart today, but I really want to point out to you some shapes and some vibes that are happening in today's chart. So the sun is in Capricorn. Hey, before we get started, like the video, subscribe to the channel. That all helps me out a lot. And leave a comment down below. Ask me anything. Say hello to me so that I can say hello to you. The sun is in Capricorn today. And that's only been for a few days. The sun moved out of Sagittarius into Capricorn with the winter solstice on Saturday. So, when the sun moves from Sagittarius into Capricorn, it's moving out of a fiery, adventurous, high-spirited, sharing good cheer kind of vibration into a more goal and work-oriented vibration that's about the security that we want to earn and the work that we're willing to do it. So, we're coming out of that sort of high cheer pre-holiday vibration. And now that we're in the holiday, we're about to actually enter the new year too. This is a time when we really get serious about thinking about our goals for the coming years. So that's fine, but I just want to remind you that this is not the time of year to actually go out and get actively started on your new goals. It's not like, you set some New Year's resolutions and I'm going to get in shape and lose 100 pounds by March, and then you go hard on them right here at the end of the year, at the beginning of the year, okay? This is really just a time for thinking about the work that we have to do and making those plans in such a way that we know as we enact them that they're going to bring us more stability and security. Okay, so that's the sun in Capricorn. Like I said, goal setting, very work oriented, and then the moon is a waning crescent in Libra. So when the moon is waning, we are reviewing how things have gone for us over the past several weeks, and we are releasing things that no longer work for us or no longer serve a purpose for us, especially in what we're trying to create for ourselves in our home life and our private life. And I put the word relent there because sometimes, you find that you've been pushing for something and pushing for something, and it's just not opening up to you. It's really not happening for you. And that doesn't mean that you can't have this thing that you've idealized creating for yourself, but it does mean that sometimes we got to back up and rework the plan, right? So we might get a cue at this time to stop pushing at something, to let up on the gas pedal a little bit, so to speak, and to think about what we're going to do next. And Moon in Libra is a time of seeking balance, but not just seeking balance, like really thinking about and feeling into the sense of, am I getting everything I need for my physical body? Am I getting everything I need in my home? And am I getting as good as I give in my relationships, right? So you just sort of look around and see, do things feel balanced? Do I feel well? Do I feel, less than well or better than well? But also, do my relationships feel well to me? Does it feel like there's a good even push and pull there? And does my home feel like a settled and like clutter-free space? I'm a person who likes a little bit of clutter personally. I have a lot of stuff on the walls. I like to keep my things out where I can see them because I kind of tend to forget that they exist if I can't see them. So it's one thing to have clutter that's an organized sort of clutter, I guess. And then there's the clutter that builds up sort of next to my chair, or the clutter that builds up here at my desk that I have to occasionally every couple of days come through and like throw things away and put things back where they belong, right? So it's a good time to be sort of looking for that visible sense of balance in your home, in our home environments, okay, and in our creative environments. So that's the moon in Libra. Now, the aspect that is really hitting today is this Venus sextile Chiron, which is at the top of the chart there with the purple line. It says open minds and active healing. Venus is in Aquarius, and Aquarius is an intellectual sign. And so it is very much about being receptive, intellectually receptive to those things that we like love and can't get enough of. And it's in this cooperative vibration with Chiron in Aries, which is all about sort of like putting our attention on the things that are sort of long-standing problems we would like to solve, or issues we would like to heal in our own sense of personal health. And when we put our attention on it, it sort of puts the sunlight on it, and hopefully sort of polishes it clean, or burns away the excess that we don't need there, so that we can get crystal clear about that core problem. So we can, if we can be a little open-minded and open to healing, we can see it actively happening within ourselves. And I love that vibration for us. Okay, so really, just being open, opening your mind to different kinds of healing. I'm gonna throw in there like complementary therapies, alternative healing. I don't endorse every single kind of alternative healing, but I think that it is important just to have your mind open, and to read about things, and to ask questions, and sort of find out what works for you. Okay, this is a good time for that. It's a good time to be like researching massage therapists, or researching regular therapists, researching just different modalities, acupuncture, things like that, that might help you affect the healing that you're looking for. So that's what's happening today. But the big news for this week is this Jupiter square to Saturn. And if you are looking at the chart there, you'll see that there is this orange looking triangle sort of toward the top of the chart. And that's Jupiter square to Saturn. And Saturn is also square to Mercury, which is opposite to Jupiter. So that Jupiter and Mercury opposition has been ongoing for a little while, because Jupiter is retrograde, so it's kind of going back over some familiar territory. Mercury was retrograde recently. It went back over familiar territory. So they've just been hanging out in this opposition for a little while. And it's been this sort of warning against over planning. It's been a warning against over committing, doing too much in advance. Okay. Like trying to be so prepared that you're preparing for eventualities that you don't even know you can be prepared for. Right. Or saying too much, really wanting to be very practical in the way that we express ourselves at this time, because it can be easy to get impractical with Jupiter in Gemini. It can be easy to go like, oh yeah, if this is possible, then anything is possible, and this is what we're going to do, and to plan, so big that you don't even have any idea what the steps are to get there, right? So, let's be a little practical in our planning. Let's be a little practical in terms of, knowing what I can commit to, and not saying I can do more than I can do. And then, that Saturn at the peak of that squaring Jupiter is the big news today. Saturn squaring Jupiter really wants us to think about setting manageable goals, which I know we talked about in the last video as well. It really wants us to notice what's going on with our finances, and collectively on the national and world level, what's going on with the economy, because we can see some sort of boom or bust behavior in the economy at this time. So we really want to be paying attention to that. We're kind of right in the middle of an 8-month cycle of Jupiter and Saturn being square on and off, and so it's we want growth, but we need stability. We want growth, but we need stability. So are you going to let the desire for stability get in your way of growing, and are you going to let your desire for unlimited expansion and growth get in the way of your security? Right? We have to make a balance between those things. And then, also that calls on us to think about our valued connections, our relationships, not just at home, not just in our personal lives, but in our work, social, and civic lives. We want to think about, the people that we relate to, the company we keep is very important. And, it's a good time to be looking at connections and relationships that you have placed a lot of value on, and just, notice whether they are really bringing you the stability and helping you get the growth that you think that you're getting from them. Okay, so that is that. And then the last thing I want to talk about today is the big green triangle in the middle of the chart, because it's temporary. You know, the moon at the bottom of the chart there, it moves very quickly. So that's going to last just a little while. And that trine is happening, that big grand trine, that big green triangle is happening at the time that Venus is having that sextile to Chiron. Okay, so when that's being completed, that's when we have this grand trine on the chart, and for several hours today. So I just want to say, Venus is our lower benefic. It's about personally those things we like, love, and can't get enough of. That stuff we desire, that stuff we feel like we need for our comfort and support. And then Jupiter, being one of three on this triangle, Jupiter is about that expansion. And especially in Gemini, it's about data. It's about things blowing up. Venus in Aquarius is about being receptive to intellectual ideas, to new ways of looking at the world. And so that we can, be receptive to new ways of receiving from the world what we want. And then the moon at the bottom there is asking us to seek balance again in our bodies and our homes and our close relations. But the fact that this grand trine is in all air signs just really gives us a lot of protection when we rely on planning, when we rely on communication, when we rely on clarifying things. Okay, so if you're feeling unclear about something, if you're working on a plan with somebody or on your own, and if something feels a little muddy, so you have a question, go ahead and ask the question, get the clarity. Just to be clear, I'm doing this and you're doing this, and this is the goal, right? Like, we can say that out loud without it being sort of an argument or sort of a conflict with anybody. It always, always, always pays to get clarity on what the expectation is of you, and also on what the expectation is of the people that you're working with. Okay, so that's all I have to say about it today, friends. Thank you so much for joining me. I truly appreciate your presence here, and I hope you have a great day. I will be back on Wednesday. See you then.